the British Grand Prix.
On two for Mercedes, for Lewis Hamilton, and it goes to the championship leader, Lewis Hamilton. It's Lewis Hamilton, champion of the world. It's Lewis Hamilton, not Hamilton.
In August 2025 at the Hungaroring, a seven-time world champion, arguably the greatest driver to ever grace the sport, delivered the most shocking interview message of his career.
Yeah, useless. Absolutely useless. Team has no problem. You've seen the cars on pole, so they probably need to change driver.
I'm useless, absolutely useless. The team have no problem. You've seen the cars on pole, so they probably need to change driver. Lewis Hamilton, 105 career wins, 7 world championships, the man who dominated an entire era of Formula One. And here he was, publicly declaring himself finished. But here's the truly insane part. As of October 2025, Lewis Hamilton sits 6th in the Drivers' Championship with 0 Grand Prix podiums in 18 races. 0, not a single one. So naturally, I had to ask the question, what the hell happened to Lewis Hamilton? Born on the 7th of January 1985 in Stevenage, United Kingdom, Lewis was a kid with big dreams. His father, Anthony Hamilton, working 3 jobs at one point, dedicated himself tirelessly to advancing Lewis's racing career. At age 8, Lewis received his first go-kart. The rest, as they say, is history. He dominated karting. At 9 years old, he walked up to McLaren team boss Ron Dennis and boldly proclaimed, "Hi, I'm Lewis Hamilton. I've won the British Championship and one day I'll be racing incredible cars." In 1998, at just 13 years old, he became the youngest driver ever contracted by an F1 team when McLaren signed him. By 2007, he made his Formula One debut with McLaren, and his rookie season was sensational. In 2008, he secured his first world championship with a famous last-lap overtake in Brazil. The boy from Stevenage had done it. Lewis Hamilton was a world champion.
Any motor race, let alone a Grand Prix than that. And the result of it all is that Lewis Hamilton is the world champion.
Unbelievable.
What followed was over a decade of dominance. In 2013, he moved to Mercedes, and by 2014, Hamilton clinched his second title.
It's coming to an end because Lewis Hamilton comes around the final corner. It's not Rosberg, it's Lewis Hamilton, champion of the world in 2014.
Then came 2015, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020, where he equaled Michael Schumacher's record of 7 world championships. By 2021, Hamilton stood on the brink of becoming the undisputed greatest of all time with an 8th title. Then came Abu Dhabi. Hamilton dominated the championship deciding race, leading with 5 laps remaining. Nicholas Latifi crashed.
Nicholas Latifi has crashed. That will be a safety car. This now completely changes the context of this race.
A safety car came out. FIA race director Michael Massey incorrectly applied regulations, handing Max Verstappen fresh tyres and the championship.
In 2021, Max Verstappen, for the first time ever, is champion of the world.
Hamilton's immediate radio, "This has been manipulated, man."
This has been manipulated, man.
The FIA later deemed it human error, but the damage was done. That wound never truly healed. But if you think losing that 8th title was devastating, wait until you hear what came next. The 2022 season marked Hamilton's first winless campaign in a 16-year F1 career. Mercedes' W13 was plagued by porpoising issues that physically punished him race after race. At the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in June 2022, Hamilton emerged from the car in visible agony, unable to stand upright. He described it as the most painful race of my career. He finished the season 6th with 240 points, his worst championship result since his rookie year. The 2023 season brought improvement, 3rd place, but another winless year. Contract negotiations dragged on for months, with reports suggesting Hamilton wanted a long-term Mercedes ambassadorship deal that the board resisted. Then came 2024's breaking point. George Russell demolished Hamilton in qualifying, 19-5 in Grand Prix sessions, the most decisive defeat Hamilton had suffered against any teammate in his entire career. While Hamilton salvaged 2 victories that year, a tearful British GP triumph, ending a 945-day winless drought, and a Belgian GP win,
He is ready to kickstart the celebrations. 8 times we've said it before. Here's a 9th for you. Lewis Hamilton wins the British Grand Prix. What a victory! Hamilton is back.
the damage to his confidence was catastrophic. He finished a career-worst 7th with 223 points. Mercedes offered Hamilton a contract extension, but reportedly denied his ambassadorship request. Meanwhile, Ferrari's John Elkann personally negotiated a package including $50 to $60 million annually and $272 million in investment fund access. On February 1st, 2024, Ferrari dropped the bomb. Lewis Hamilton would join the Scuderia for 2025. Ferrari's stock price rocketed 10%, adding approximately $6 billion in market value. The motorsport world reeled. This was it. Hamilton's Schumacher moment. The 2026 regulation reset would be his final shot at that elusive 8th title. At 40 years old, he'd surpass Schumacher at Schumacher's iconic team. The dream was perfect. The narrative was flawless. Hamilton thought he'd found redemption. Instead, 2025 would become the worst sustained performance of his entire career. Hamilton's Ferrari debut in Australia ended with a 10th place finish. Then came the China Sprint in late March. Hamilton took pole position by 0.018 seconds over Verstappen, then demolished the field with a commanding 6.889 second sprint victory, Ferrari's first ever sprint win.
Lewis Hamilton is into the final corners. In this storied career, Hamilton will write a new chapter, and this time it's written in red. Lewis Hamilton wins for Ferrari for the first time in Formula One. He's left them all behind.
Hamilton was gobsmacked. Ferrari fans were losing their minds. Then reality struck like a freight train. The Chinese Grand Prix saw Hamilton disqualified from 6th place for excessive plank wear. Ferrari had pushed ride heights too aggressively. Since China, Hamilton has scored 0 Grand Prix podiums across 18 races. He's tied Didier Pironi's Ferrari record of 18 races without a podium finish. His best Grand Prix results? 4th place at Imola and Austria. The SF25 is a nightmare. Chronic tyre temperature issues, severe understeer at corner entry, dangerous rear instability on exit, and brake cooling problems that would reach crisis point in Singapore. Charles Leclerc has comprehensively destroyed Hamilton. The stats are brutal: 15-6 in overall qualifying and 14-4 in races. The championship gap stands at 48 points, 173 to 125. Hamilton sits 6th overall, 209 points behind leader Oscar Piastri. He's mathematically eliminated from title contention. And then came Hungary, August 3rd, 2025. The Hungaroring, a circuit where Hamilton holds 9 pole positions. Qualifying, Hamilton exits Q2 in 12th place, missing Q3 by 0.015 seconds. Leclerc claims pole position. Hamilton's immediate team radio: every time. Every time.
Every time.
In the post-qualifying Sky Sports F1 interview, Hamilton delivered the most shocking self-assessment of his career. It's me every time. I'm useless, absolutely useless. The team have no problem. You've seen the cars on pole, so they probably need to change driver.
Yeah, I'm useless. Absolutely useless. The team has no problem. You've seen the cars on pole, so they probably need to change driver.
The paddock went silent. Social media exploded. A 7-time world champion had just publicly declared himself finished. The race brought no redemption. 12th place, over 1 lap behind winner Lando Norris, his first pointless Ferrari finish. He later described Hungary as his lowest point at Ferrari, admitting he expected some tears during the summer break. The mental breakdown exposed Hamilton's psychological fragility since Abu Dhabi 2021. The relentless competitor who once intimidated teammates now publicly suggests his team replace him. But if you think Hungary was bad, buckle up for Singapore, October 5th, 2025. Singapore Grand Prix. Lap 60. Hamilton's left front brake suddenly fails. The full team radio is chaos.
These are my brakes, mate.
Okay, we should at least in course. Brakes, finally.
Yeah, I'm doing this. Big time. Lost my brakes. Lost my different.
Over the next 2 laps, Hamilton struggles to keep the car on track, repeatedly exceeding track limits as the pedal goes to the floor. Fernando Alonso closes rapidly from behind. Adami, don't cut the corners! Hamilton, I'm not trying to cut corners, mate. Hamilton, just leave me to it, mate. Just leave me to it. Hamilton limps home, receiving a 5-second penalty that drops him from 7th to 8th. The podiumless streak continues, but here's where it gets absolutely insane. At Austin 1 week later, Ferrari's head of track engineering, Matteo Tognanelli, dropped a bombshell. In Singapore, consciously, we approached the quali and the race with a car that we knew was on the limit. Ferrari had knowingly run brake ducts designed too small to maximize aerodynamic efficiency. The inadequate cooling was no surprise. The team knew from lap 2 to 3 that brakes were overheating. They kept Hamilton in the dark. They instructed lift and coast throughout the race without explaining his brakes would catastrophically fail. Fred Vasseur defended it. In terms of safety, yes, because we adapted the pace. Adapted the pace? Hamilton was going 30 seconds slower per lap, desperately trying not to crash with failed brakes. Absolute madness. The Singapore brake scandal crystallized Ferrari's entire 2025 season. Critical errors, sacrificing driver safety for marginal gains, breeding distrust with their star driver. The radio wars had been building all season. At Austria in June, Hamilton questioned his pit strategy with 20 laps remaining. At the Dutch GP in August, Hamilton lost control at turn 3, hit the barriers and retired, his only DNF of the season. Then came Azerbaijan's team orders failure on September 21st, both Ferraris in 8th and 9th. Ferrari instructed Leclerc to let Hamilton through. Leclerc complied graciously. The final lap arrived. Hamilton received the instruction to swap positions back, but the message arrived too late. He crossed the finish line 0.464 seconds ahead of Leclerc. Leclerc's immediate radio, "This is stupid." Leclerc downplayed it publicly but issued a warning. There are rules we've got to work with. Today, maybe those rules were not respected. If we are fighting for sexier positions, I hope those rules are respected. 0 Grand Prix podiums in 18 races. 6th in the championship. 48 points behind his teammate. A mental breakdown on live television. Brake failures the team knew were coming. But the worst part, the criticism was only just beginning. The paddock turned on Hamilton with startling venom. Mark Schurer, former F1 driver, delivered the most damaging assessment in September 2025. Lewis Hamilton is simply a spoiled child who has always driven the best cars. If the car suits him, he wins hands down. But as soon as he doesn't have the fastest car, he runs into problems. He's not like Alonso, who can live with compromises and gets the most out of every car. David Coulthard called Hamilton 2024's biggest disappointment. "I've never seen this Lewis in Formula One. He was beaten in qualifying while the greats can always find speed somewhere. The stopwatch doesn't lie." Nico Rosberg, Hamilton's former teammate, repeatedly questioned Hamilton's form. After China 2024, Rosberg stated, "Lewis is 1.4 down in qualifying against George, and every time he says, it's the setup. For me, it's an excuse." He later suggested Hamilton is very, very worried about permanent decline. Even Jenson Button reopened the age debate. He's almost 40 years old. Maybe you do lose a tiny bit. You are racing against 20-year-olds. Hamilton turned 40 on January 7th, 2025, becoming only the second driver in his 40s on the grid alongside Fernando Alonso. Yet Alonso remains competitive at 44, recording 8 podiums at age 42. So what's Hamilton's excuse? Hamilton's defense to Time magazine cut to the core. "Don't ever compare me to anybody else. I'm the first and only black driver that's ever been in this sport. I'm built different. I'm hungry, driven, don't have a wife and kids. I'm focused on one thing, and that's winning." But while Hamilton struggles, Max Verstappen's dominance has fundamentally shifted the GOAT conversation. Verstappen's 2023 season was the most dominant in F1 history. 19 wins from 22 races, 86.3% win rate, 10 consecutive wins, 575 championship points. His Brazil 2024 drive crystallized his genius. Starting 17th in torrential rain, he carved through the field to win. Verstappen won the 2024 championship despite Red Bull finishing only third in the Constructors, the first driver since 1983 to win the title with the third-place team.
Max Verstappen is a four-time Formula One world champion.
Verstappen achieved 67 wins by age 27. Hamilton had 62 wins at the same age. The trajectory favours the Dutchman. The equipment-dependent critique haunts Hamilton. 6 of his 7 titles came during Mercedes' 2014 to 2021 dominance. Verstappen's 2024 title with the third-best car directly refutes the equipment argument. Gerhard Berger declared, "Max is probably the best we've ever seen in Formula One." The psychological impact runs deeper. In September 2024, Hamilton revealed he suffered from depression since age 13. The root causes: racing pressure, bullying at school, and racism. I had no one to talk to. And the 2021 Abu Dhabi trauma? It never healed. Hamilton admitted, "If I see a clip of it, I still feel it." He describes it using a haunting metaphor. It's like your first love, first heartbreak. That feeling never really truly leaves you. So what happens next? History offers mixed signals. Michael Schumacher joined Ferrari in 1996. His first year brought 3 wins.
The last corner, and Michael Schumacher wins the Spanish Grand Prix after an absolutely superlative drive.
Year 5, 2000, brought breakthrough. Schumacher won Ferrari's first driver's title since 1979. The timeline suggests patience.
And a brilliant race for Michael Schumacher, who exits the chicane for the 53rd and last time to win the 2000 Japanese Grand Prix and the World.
But Fernando Alonso's Ferrari tenure, 2010 to 2014, offers a darker parallel. Arriving as a 2-time champion at age 29.
What a superb move from Fernando Alonso! Alonso's done it! Fernando Alonso on the podium for the 8th time this season.
Alonso came agonizingly close, but never won a championship. When he left in 2014, he carried the regret. The key difference? Alonso entered Ferrari at 29, Hamilton at 40. The window is drastically narrower. The oldest F1 champion, Juan Manuel Fangio, at 46 in 1957. Since then, only Jack Brabham won a title after age 40 in 1966. If Hamilton wins the 2026 championship at 41, he'd be the oldest champion since Brabham, a feat not accomplished in 60 years. Which brings us to 2026, Hamilton's final shot. Complete chassis redesign, new power units, active aerodynamics. The most significant technical revolution since 2014, the transition Hamilton dominated at Mercedes. Can he replicate it at 41 with Ferrari? Hamilton is deeply involved in 2026 development. He spent 2 weeks at Maranello in July 2025, running the 2026 car in the simulator, debriefing with 30 engineers. Multiple engine experts predict Ferrari and Mercedes will lead 2026 power unit development. Early paddock whispers suggest Ferrari's engine architecture is well positioned. Retirement speculation intensifies despite denials. Hamilton's contract runs through 2026 with an option for 2027. To L'Equipe, he insisted, "I have no intention of stopping anytime soon. I'll keep going until he's 50, referring to Alonso. But expert predictions uniformly target 2026 to 2027 as the retirement window. Jenson Button, 2026 will be the turning point, potentially revealing a driver ready to walk away. Toto Wolff's August 2025 comment carries weight. F1 fans must be sure to savour watching the all-time great in action while they still can. So where does Lewis Hamilton go from here? Is 2026 his redemption story? A 41-year-old champion defying age, critics and chaos to claim that 8th title at Schumacher's iconic team? Or is this the beginning of the end? A legend who stayed too long, made the wrong move and watched his legacy diminish, while Verstappen cemented himself as the new GOAT. History suggests patience. Schumacher took 5 years, but history also warns Alonso left Ferrari empty-handed. At 40 years old, with 0 podiums in 18 races, mental health struggles and brake failures behind him, Hamilton must summon one final act of greatness. 2026 will answer the question definitively: champion reinvented or legend diminished? There is no middle ground. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out the other video. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I make F1 stories like this that you'll absolutely love. Trust me. Ciao.